Sat and thought for a while about the good old days. All he recalled now was a smile and how she'd say, remember when we were young and the world was in our hands, madly desirous of the ones who burn, burn, burn. Take my hand, I'll lead you to mountains far and wide. The valley where we saw the band, now we pray the man won't die. We'll waste the hours again out on the open road. The vast countryside, not as vast as our mind. Now go home, home, she said. You're wild at heart. Now go home, she said. You're wild. The sun will rise again and lighten your heart. The distances and spaces between won't seem as far. We'll sit and think for a while about the good old days, recalling every smile and all the things we used to say. Now go home, she said. You're wild at heart. Now go home, she said. You're wild Now go home, she said. You're wild at heart. Now go home, she said. You're wild at heart.
My name is Jared Adams. I'm I guess, singer-songwriter. I suppose that's what it'd be classified as. I think singer-songwriter is pretty like a general encompassing term. I mean, I guess the main idea is like I write all the music and the band just kind of sort of plays what I tell them to play somewhat. So I think that's where the sort of singer-songwriter thing comes in. Okay, so the style is kind of, I like to call it heavy folk, because it kind of starts off acoustic and usually builds to stuff. I guess not a lot of the songs are like that anymore. It's kind of, they all start as like acoustics written by myself. I don't know, I guess it's like indie rock, very generic, sweeping term. But I mean, I am, at least for this sort of music and this project, influenced by bands like Band of Horses, Father John Misty, stuff like that, that is sort of more, I guess, structurally and songwriting-wise based in like a folk kind of style with like more lush arrangements. So it's not really like, you know, metal or rock or something, or riff music or anything like that. It's sort of more based around chord progressions and layering sounds and harmonies.
That's my mistake.
Tides is kind of like a love song. It's sort of like a song about unrequited love, I guess, or something to that effect. I don't know. It's kind of one of those songs where sort of the words kind of came out and I just kind of left it how it was, and very loose inspirations, nothing really specific. Very inspired by Radiohead. There's a lot of sort of Radiohead stuff going on, and on the album it has like a drum machine, but we found that was a bit too hard to do live, trying to keep a drum machine going in time with everyone else.
And my pride away.
I definitely miss the Cub Over stuff and working in a band, because it's sort of like here I write all the songs, I kind of bring it to the band and say, you know, play this sort of thing. Whereas Cub Over is kind of like I write a song, take it to the band, and like by the time we actually play it on stage, it's way different than what I originally envisioned. Usually probably better than what I originally envisioned, because everyone kind of brings their own ideas and becomes a sort of different beast. So I think there's an element to that like, you know, I like the whole solo project because I do have the control over all the music, but also I feel like sometimes maybe the songs aren't as best as they could be because it's just like me writing them and not really like collaborating with anyone on them. So there's definitely an upside to both of the angles.
So sweet, divine, as you cross the line between knowing and believing. flame in our hearts. The future's unplanned.
Oh, When We Were Young. That one actually, though, specifically is more about living in Osborne Village when I was young. Kind of like going to like the Toad or going to the Academy or whatever sort of venue was around and watching music and hanging out with people.
Ambition was fierce, a burning desire, and diving head first. And when you and I would meet in the end, bailing on something, a forgotten friend. And after all is said and done, won't be the lonely ones. I feel it in you when we were young. I believe it's in you when we were young. In you. When we were young, at home in the night, the rock and roll music was our one true fight. And you were the whisper in the back of my head. Through all these years, never misled. And after all is said and done, won't be the lonely ones. I feel it in you when we were young. I believe it's in you when we were young. In you. And after all is said and done, we won't be the lonely ones. I feel it in you when we were young. I believe it's in you when we were young. I feel it in you when we were young. I believe it's in you when we were young. It was you.
Wild Things is sort of based on the book Where the Wild Things Are, and essentially the idea is sort of like taking that idea of like the character of Max who sails on his ship to go to the island of monsters and kind of extrapolating that. I guess, I mean, you could look at it as if you wanted to put a character to it, it could be the character of Max looking back on his life kind of from that perspective of the wild things, but I mean, it's more from my experiences, obviously.
When I was young, I never realized certain things would go away. But now I'm older and putting it together, things no one ever wanted to say. I keep the shadows out of my bedroom, leave the light on at night. Tell my monsters to go away and leave me. Don't you ever come back. Now I sit here wondering aloud, where did the wild things go? Thought I had a little sailboat, but it's gone. is driving everything I do these days. Makes me feel so sick. Wish I could go back to adolescence, back when passions were strong. Need to relearn things I have forgotten, things you only know in youth. Getting tired of acting like a grown-up, known child at heart.
Yeah, basically, like everyone other than Billy, who is the other guitar player, I've been playing with the rest of those guys for, I don't know, probably a decade now. Me and Brian have been playing together since high school, the bass player. And then Billy joined just recently. I was looking for a guitarist for Fringe Fest a couple years ago, and he was recommended by a friend. And he came into the first rehearsal and just like knew all the songs like perfectly. I was like, wow, okay, this is awesome, you're in. But yeah, I guess like having that history of playing with these guys for years, it makes it a lot easier when we come to rehearsals to just sort of already know the songs, know how everyone else is gonna play, and it just works. And I guess the fact that we've all sort of played these songs in the recording, we have the record, so like everyone can rehearse the record. It's not like sort of like, yeah, this is kind of how this song goes, or here's a loose idea how this song goes. It's very definitive, like this is how the song is, you know what your part is. So it's pretty easy to come to rehearsals with that in mind. And then the last song, Tragic Nostalgia, is a very hyperbole-ridden song about being sad. I don't know, the words tragic nostalgia, kind of where that came from was me and Alex, who's the keyboard player. We were sitting at, I think, the Cavern one night waiting for a show to start, and he said something to me about, you know, Jared, you have a real tragic nostalgia about you. And I was like, oh, you know what, that's the name of my first solo album. That's what I call my first solo album. And so I kind of wrote the song from there, and it just became this sort of like meant to be like really sad song. It's not really a happy song at all.
It's like yesterday we were singing and having fun. Now we're growing old, hearts melting in the sun. And I don't feel fine anymore. And I don't